Fanatically Correct. Brought to you by us, fans like you, but mostly us.
Are you yawning in the middle of this while I'm breaking it down? Huh? Did you hear what I said?
Stop listening after you said we need a plan.
Okay, Mr. Clean's on his own page.
See, not winging it isn't really what they do.
What exactly is it that they do?
Kick names, take ass.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, just get over here, please.
In a dark corner of the world, three men will work together to bring you a podcast like no other. This is Fanatically Correct, where the fans, the geeks, and the nerds are always correct. With your host, MSK, Yo Peace, and Omega.
All right. This is our second panel of the evening. We are Fanatically Correct. I'm your host, Omega.
MSK here.
Yo, peace.
There we go. And we have one loyal fan that stuck around.
Woo!
From our last panel.
Yeah!
What's your name? Just throw it out there. Whatever name you want, man. You don't have to be a real one if you don't want.
What is it?
Unless your real one's like really cool. What is it?
Megatron.
Megatron. There we go.
Megatron.
Omega and Megatron in the same. It's like it just became an episode of Transformers. I liked originally the.
Yeah,
that was better.
That one was.
But then Michael freaking Bay. Which that was last year, right? I don't have to talk about Transformers this year, right? Thank God. Thank God. Okay, this is toasting the best, drowning our sorrows to the worst of 2018 so far. At least that's what the panel paper says on the schedule in your SuperCon panel. We're going to get out of the way, again, our promos. You can listen to us on Podbean or AnyPod for your Echo or Alexa. If you like, you can listen to us on iTunes and Google Play. Please review us. You can reach us at FanCorrect on Twitter and Instagram. Fanatically Correct on Facebook and Google+. That's still a thing. Fanaticallycorrect.com will take you straight to our our Podbean and get you listening. You can also email us at contactfancor@gmail.com. And we're going to do a quick promo. We have one more panel after this, which will be a Rick and Morty one tonight. And then we will be here again tomorrow, Friday night, talking Game of Thrones at 12:30 a.m.
Hey, yeah, baby. Woo! Yes!
And then the fun one, we are also promoting, we will be paneling on Sunday, August 12th. We'll be doing a Marvel panel and a Doctor Who panel at the Sunrise City Comic-Con. If you look that up, you will find all the wonderful good information. We will be doing a 1:30 and 3:30 p.m. I've just been handed a piece of paper hot off the presses, so I have to give the information now. That's the eyeball I'm getting. Tickets are only $10 if you buy them in advance online. And again, that's Sunday, August 12th, 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Sunrise Civic Center at the Oakland Park near the Sawgrass Mall. Now we got that out of the way. We got Megatron over here.
That might be old information, though, because by the time this episode airs, that might have already been...
So MSK is announcing already that he plans to sit on these episodes for at least 3 or 4 months. So, just fast forward to the next 3 episodes and you'll get that episode if you're listening to this. Okay, for our one audience member and our listeners out there, we're doing, of course, the year in review, mid-year in review. We're probably just going to focus more on the good stuff. We tend to get into the bad stuff. Unless our audience member throws some bad stuff at us, we'll talk about it. We kind of go in order. So to start us off, month of January, I didn't have much. So I'll start with this, and if either of you pull something up, or if you can remember something from the month of January, or pretend it was from January. It's actually not one of the nerdiest films, but we're just film nerds in general and television nerds in general. I really liked, it was a film called Den of Thieves. Did you catch that?
No.
You need to catch
it's
that.
It's a heist movie.
It's a heist movie.
Yeah.
If you like, did you like Heat at all, or is that's not your type of film at all? What's okay? We'll brush through it quick so we don't bore our audience member because we only have one and we don't want to be in the lose them right away. So Den of Thieves is It's basically Heat meets Training Day, and it's to me I actually like it more than Heat. And I'm going a long stretch saying that to me there's scenes of Heat that drag. There's scenes of Heat that make me a little sleepy. I say the same thing about The Godfather and Godfather 2. You can eyeball me all you want, but I think Den of Thieves, Den of Thieves to me had it just flowed. There was things that didn't develop properly. I personally feel that was a film that was meant to be a series. Like I say, that would have been a great season of True Detective. I don't know if you watch True Detective. Our audience member is not liking any of this stuff. But for
like a 5-minute time there right now
for the rest of our listeners, if you like True Detective, it's kind of like a season of True Detective wrapped into a film.
I just want to let you know he's got his bags ready. So
Yeah.
we need to get this going.
He's literally
What else
already
came out
waiting.
in January?
We had Maze Runner came out in January.
That was in January?
Maze Runner.
Yes.
That was in
Did
January?
you like Maze Runner? Have you seen Maze Runner?
I saw like the first.
Okay.
Oh, so you didn't see the most recent one. Okay. This one was The Scorched Trials was the last. This one was
Death Cure.
The Death Cure. I liked it.
I liked it too.
It was okay.
Actually,
it's the worst of the three.
I think
it is. The second one is definitely the best one.
Yeah.
I liked it though. I liked it, and I recently finished all the books. Well, 1, 2, and 3.
Oh.
1, 2, and 3.
Piece reads.
I read,
Whoa.
and it's nowhere near it, obviously, because it's Hollywood. But I actually liked the third one. It was good.
After reading the book, reading
It's
the book made it better, or
No, the books are better.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think that's always the case for every show that's kind of like
Usually directors and just in general speaking, they always when they adapt, they tend to try and put their own spin on it.
Yeah.
To give it their flavor, and that always tends to upset readers because obviously they loved the story they read. Unfortunately, we did get the complaint earlier about Game of Thrones the first couple of seasons that she actually didn't like that,
right?
Because she didn't want to just see verbatim, word for word, what was in the book. So it's hard to please audiences in general. But I think for readers, for the most part, it's like us comic book fans, we want to see what we read so much. Now a live action, and that's usually the majority. And if you're gonna sell, if you're gonna sell to your fan base, that's what you.
And that's what DC fails at. But we'll get to that eventually. Maybe not.
Wait, we haven't had any DC ones this year.
Not this year,
because Justice League was end of last year.
End of last year.
Yes.
Yeah. So we don't have to talk about that. But we do have a lot of Marvel.
Wait. Okay. So also, I heard also 12 Strong. I don't know if you've seen it. I heard that one is actually.
I haven't seen that one. That was the one with Thor.
Yes, I heard that one is actually.
I finally saw 13 minutes, the Benghazi one. What's that one called? 13 hours.
13 hours.
13 hours. Yes. Yeah, I finally saw that one on Amazon.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
MSK recommended that one.
Yeah. That's I'm glad you didn't say 13 Ghosts.
No, I wasn't going to.
My God, what happened there?
No, I think it was
13 Hours is good. That's,
it's a good film.
You were just ranking on him right now for Transformers.
Oh, Michael Bay?
That's Michael Bay.
Yeah, but he can do those.
Yeah,
I just don't want to touch Transformers.
Perfectly.
I don't want to put Nostrils and Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
He needs to stop.
Yeah. He made Jim from The Office like an action hero. Yeah.
Explosion.
Speaking of Jim, wait till we get there. What month was that? I can't wait. Oh, it's April. Okay, let's start jumping through stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So February, you can't see what I'm doing right now. But Yo Piece knows what I'm doing.
What is Yo Piece? No, wait.
Because I got him that lanyard that has the...
Oh, he has
SFB,
Yeah. Which is Wakanda Forever. Black Panther, did you see it?
It was alright.
It was...
Yes!
There you go.
Yes!
There you go.
See, but you didn't hate it.
No, but it wasn't good.
Alright, because overhyped?
Overhyped, and I was expecting more stuff from the comics.
Okay. What were you missing from the comics? I'm just curious.
More in depth on the Black Panther god, the exploration of the whole culture.
Oh,
okay. More of like the
more of the specific character. Yeah. You know what? Because they did focus more on Wakanda, I think, in the film than the character of Black Panther, which for me, and they're gonna say, I at all don't think it's a bad film. I actually liked it. I enjoyed it. I personally felt it was a little overhyped. And which I do this a lot. Like certain films, I expect them to be so much more. Unfortunately, I fall for the hype, and then when it doesn't live to my hype, then I'm kind of like disappointed. But I like the film. To me, the issue that I had with it was it came out of, the character came out of Civil War. And Civil War followed Winter Soldier, and it had that spy flavor to it. They did the spy flavor a little bit more comical because they did the James Bond thing where he literally, I mean, it was straight out of James Bond. His sister was basically Q. He had the gambling scene. He had the car. He had the gadgets. I mean, it was literally just a straight up like James Bond beginning, which I dug, and I do like the humor. I love Marvel's humor. I'm a person who never complains about the comedy in superhero films, especially Marvel. They always do it pretty well.
Except for Iron Man 3.
For you,
Iron Man
specifically
3.
Iron Man 3 was excellent. That's one of my favorite
Great
ones.
comedy.
Yeah.
That's right up there with Guardians of the Galaxy. No, I won't go that far, but I mean, it did for a second as a joke. But yeah, I just felt that it was missing that darkness that I thought I was gonna get since it was following and the character came out of Civil War, as well as like the way he played the character in Civil War and with his father's death and all that. There was more of a darkness to it. I did love Killmonger because they did focus that type of darkness to that character. And Michael B. Jordan's a great actor, so he played off the character great.
Well, I think Killmonger is probably the best. Before we get into Infinity War, it's probably the best villain that the Marvel Universe has.
That's rough for me. I really like Loki. He's just a flip-flopper.
Loki is kind of...
he's a flip-flopper.
He's barely a villain, though. Like, he's like an anti-hero by this point.
I think the problem I have with the movie, apart from the overhypeness, because it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I think Killmonger should have not been killed in this movie. I think it was too soon.
I think it was too...
Yeah.
They could have used them for another movie.
I think they definitely could have used him for another film.
Yeah, I think they just I mean,
Spoiler
alert. He was a good.
Spoiler
alert.
Yeah, we're
gonna throw it out there.
We're talking about a February film. February film in July, and if you haven't, I know how you would watch without watching Infinity War. My parents are the only people I know who watch stuff out of order, and then they're asking me like, "Why did this happen?" I'm like, "Did you see whatever?" Like, no. Wow, how many times I gotta tell you watch them in order?
Spoiler alert for Omega's.
Parents.
Family.
Oh no, they're caught up. And mom's her heart just broke again. Like, she's getting mad at me for making her watch Marvel films.
We'll get to that movie.
But we're gonna get there. But yeah. I agree that it was definitely too quick to get rid of Killmonger, and I mean it's a good movie. It's fun. It has a lot of comedy in it that I enjoyed. It's to me, I like the world of Wakanda, and then Infinity War jumped into it. Just personally, I would like more of that Civil War Winter Soldier flavor to it. I think it just had. I mean, it kind of did have its own unique Lion King, style to it, which I credit Marvel for that. I don't want every Marvel film to be the same. I like that. Yeah, exactly. I like that the Captain America movies, excluding the first one, have that spy feeling to it.
What
espionage
one?
Okay, whatever. Yeah, pretend it doesn't exist. I like that Guardians of the Galaxy have their flavor. I like that the Ant-Man or heist, comedic heist movies. I like that. So I do like that. I will give it credit to that Black Panther is not really comparable to any of the movies. It does kind of have its own flavor. I would maybe compare it kind of to an Iron Man.
The first one.
Yeah, the first one, exactly. The way the origin story moves. Again, I don't think it was a 10. I mean, it's definitely not in my top 5 at all of Marvel films. But definitely, I mean, it's a good film. I don't hate on it. I've watched it twice already. I'll probably watch it a couple more times in my lifetime, easily. But overall, that's my take on it. I mean, that's January. I can't remember anything. I mean, February.
That's February.
I don't remember anything specifically bad in February that I care to go over. February, that month ring a bell to you? Had anything going on?
50 Shades.
Yeah, so that didn't just happen.
Yeah, go ahead, Yopis. Go ahead,
Yopis. What's your take on 50 Shades? I'm gonna go to the bathroom now.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
okay, good. Good.
So you were
those films interest you? Are those books that you're Christian Grey is not?
I mean, not Megatron.
A guy comes in and goes Megatron for his for the name he's gonna use on our podcast. He's gonna listen to 50 Shades. Jesus. Wow. What's the matter with your piece today? All right, March. I'm looking forward to talking about this. I hope you are too. I hope our audience member. March was Ready Player One.
That's what we're gonna.
You have not seen Ready Player One?
Oh boy.
It is July. That movie came out in March. Actually, I think it just came out on Blu-ray, right?
I think it's about to come out. Yeah,
it's about
to.
I didn't even know there was a book. How's it the book?
Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Well, I heard the people that love the book, they're kind of like 50-50 on the movie itself, but they say they've changed a lot of things from the book, but it's not bad. Like it's not a bad change. It's just
It's an adaptation.
It's an adaptation, and they accept it. It's still good.
I'm gonna ask a question since you read the book. Something I had heard, because Spielberg's obviously the one who produced and directed it, that the book pays a lot of homage to Spielberg. Is that accurate?
I do not remember.
Oh.
I read it a
long time. It was like a school for school or something like that when you read it.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, because what I understand is that Spielberg, and that's where I hear that's what the controversy is with the book, that he actually purposely took out a lot of things because he was like, if I'm going to produce and direct it, I can't, basically, kiss my own ass.
Right.
This whole movie.
Right. Which is smart.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I understand that obviously, which I don't understand how it works with creative licensing, how the book had the right to use a lot of things that he wasn't able to get licensing for the film.
Well, because it's different studios. I mean, Universal. I don't know who released.
Because the book paid homage to the 80s, while I think the movie's paying homage to the 90s, I believe.
Well, no, it's still
the movie does. Well, at least all the music is 80s.
Yeah,
and a lot of the film references are 80s.
Yeah, it's a lot of 80s.
I think the issue is the video games are more 90s because probably they couldn't get a lot of
even
licensing
2000s because they had a lot of Halo and I think they have like Minecraft.
They even jumped on
reference.
superheroes, but they didn't really focus on it because at one point they showed Justice League. You'll catch. I mean, that's one of the fun things about being a nerd and watching Ready Player One, and I've only seen it twice so far, and I gotta watch it like 2 more times, is pausing and trying to catch so many things that they throw out there, and it kind of gets to a point where you're like hyped up and like, oh, I just saw, and you're constantly like looking at things they point out, but then they even do film homage because there's a Terminator 2 homage in that with the Iron Giant.
Yes.
There's the thing with that. So they even start to pay homage to like films and like film storylines, and it's and that's fun because we're almost talking about like a necessity because we don't want to ruin it for you because I mean I don't know how close it is to the book, but I will tell you, and maybe this rings a bell to you in the book, and if it doesn't, something I tell everybody that totally throws you off is The Shining. Was The Shining a big thing in the book at all?
I remember something.
Okay, because The Shining has its moment in the film, and that's my favorite
that
scene.
That seems very well.
It's because it's the CGI. It's that next jump, like the way Forrest Gump did, where it was integrating him into like scenes with presence like that. It takes the film The Shining, and the CGI is so well done to put these characters in it that brings the film to life. And I mean, they hold nothing back. And I was like, I'm sitting like, they're not going to show the pool of blood, and I'm like, and then they're not going to show this. Oh, they're not going to show, and I'm like, kids can't watch this. Yeah. I'm like, this is going to be so scary.
My kids.
Because
my kids.
Hey, like the comedian said earlier today. Bad parenting equals strong comedians in the future. So
that's true. That's true.
You're preparing their future careers of celebrity and stardom.
Plan. That's what they are.
Hollywood kid. That's what the Family Guy. Who's gonna pay for the house? Hollywood kid. But yeah, I love Ready Player One. That's one of my top films so far of 2018. Yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I love the nostalgia. Spielberg did a great job. The 80s stuff is great. Retro is so in right now. It's like, Cobra Kai and the Van Damme show.
Yeah, even Marvel references.
Yeah, Marvel. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy is doing it like crazy. It's like retro 80s and 90s, mostly 80s right now, but 90s already getting that flair in there. It's so in right now, and that film just does such a great job of capturing it. And it's basically Willy Wonka-ish overall storyline. And but creatively done. It's like a really creative way of almost doing the Willy Wonka storyline. Yeah, and I enjoyed it. I mean, that's good. Definitely.
You should go see it. Buy it.
Strongly recommended. Strongly, yeah. At least download it, Amazon, whatever.
Yeah, paid.
Pay for it.
Yeah.
Legally, Megatron, legally.
Yeah. What was that, Omega? I see you doing
quotation marks.
Quotations.
Nothing, just download it somehow.
Yeah.
So that was March. April.
That was a big one.
Yeah. That was a huge one for March. April's a good one.
So you just skipped over Death Wish?
That was March. And wait a minute, we're gonna talk about Death Wish like that's a.
I haven't seen Death Wish, so I have no.
It's a good movie.
I mean, I heard it was okay.
It's an okay movie for a remake.
It wasn't alright. It's not the original Death Wish.
I heard it wasn't.
It's not as dark. No, it's not. It's not dark at all.
And it has a little bit more comedy than the original Death Wish.
Are you hating on Death Wish?
I'm not hating on it. I enjoyed it, but to like Ready Player One it, especially at a con.
That's what I say was the high, and
then there's a low. But
that's the low. I don't think it's the low. I think it was
the low was Hurricane Heist.
Oh,
Wait,
wow.
what is
Hurricane
that?
Heist.
Yes.
Why was that made?
I don't even remember. I didn't even know
Yes.
that existed.
Oh,
Do you even
that
see the
existed.
trailers for that? Hurricane Heist.
Hurricane Heist. It's definitely the low.
You know what that's like? You know
like
that's like
Sharknado.
Yes.
no, like the Meg.
The
You see-
Meg.
Shut up, Meg. I can't help but
The
do
Meg.
that. They have it here at the con.
Yeah.
They have a big giant shark. There's the Discovery Science Museum is trying to promote that. Who is watching that? Why is Jason Statham doing that? I mean, he already did Fast and Furious. What does he care at this point? He's just making money. But
Meg.
it's like why? It's like oh, that's gonna be bad. The Meg. So yeah, we're jumping into April. Enough of Death Wish. Insane.
Let's do the low. Let's do the low something.
What do you have at a low for April?
Let me see.
I think we have two big goods in April, especially the big, which is we're gonna get into right now. You saw Infinity War, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, because that's gonna pretty much take up the rest of the hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have this till 11:45.
Rampage.
Rampage. I haven't seen
I
that.
didn't even see it, but I know it's a low.
I mean,
Okay, The Rock
Have
is he
you
gonna
seen it
stop?
no, I don't need to watch.
No, I don't
that.
need to watch it. It's gonna be what's
Well, Yopis is already tired of The Rock.
the
I can tell
skyscraper?
He's tired of The Rock.
Look, I'm not tired of Rock because I know see, this is the thing. I can't watch those movies because I know I'm gonna watch the movie. I know
I'm
it's
gonna
like
watch it.
The Rock is like it's The Rock. I'm gonna watch it.
Jumanji wasn't that
Again,
bad.
Again, it's
Jumanji
it's
was good, but,
Jumanji was
but
good.
not because of The Rock.
But it shouldn't have
Jack
been
Black.
called Jumanji. It should have been
No.
called something else. But it was
Just
a good
call it
movie.
something else.
Just call it something else. Yeah.
Isn't he doing now another one? Another one from Disney. The another ride. Jungle
Jungle
Cruise.
Cruise.
Jungle Cruise. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. First of all, The Rock in the Jungle needs to stop. That's like this. The
no,
Rock in the Jungle
you know,
series. I already see that box set.
he's-
The Rock in the Jungle series.
He's wearing the same clothes and he's just going from studio to studio
I
to studio.
think he's just
to
filming
studio.
10 scenes,
Yeah.
and like you guys
That's
use
it.
them how you
This
want.
is it. Just put him wherever you want.
You guys split them up however you want. Divvy it up.
Stop.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's okay.
Rampage.
It's The Rock.
Yeah.
It's
It's
The
a
Rock. You can do
video
whatever you
game.
want.
I get it. I get it.
So
All
you're-
right.
All right, I'm gonna go semi high before we jump into Infinity War because I think that's it. We're not gonna talk about anything else. I have to say that I was very surprised and I really enjoyed, which is now out on DVD and everything. A Quiet Place. Did you catch that, Megatron?
I read synopsis of it.
Well, the synopsis was very well
Wow,
written.
well the synopsis
apparently.
is very well written. Actually, I don't mind not spoiling A Quiet Place.
Stop.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna spoil it for him, which I'm glad because I'm gonna spoil it for the podcast.
Oh, you're
'Cause
not
we
gonna spoil it?
No, I'm
Okay.
not. That's what I'm saying. I'm
Okay,
not. But I'm really happy just brushing on it because.
Very low when you're doing this.
Why should I talk very low? What's happening?
Oh, what, really? You're not feeling
I'm not doing it. Oh.
So quiet place. What's that?
So quiet, please.
Quiet place.
So it's quite okay. Here's the thing. There's flaws in that film, but you overlooked them.
There's no flaws. Omega's a hater.
I don't hate it. I was very pleasantly surprised. That's a very good film.
Yep.
Very, very good film. I strongly recommend it. It's worth watching.
My only problem is that,
Nope.
you know,
No.
No, I mean, this is my only problem. Jim always puts himself in situations to get back to Pam, and I really hate it. I really hate it already. Just get back to Pam already.
The Office.
And, you know, I don't see him as anything. Every time I see him in a movie, he's Jim.
He's always Jim.
He's
Now,
always Jim.
I would just say overall, number one of my favorite things about A Quiet Place, and I am throwing this out there hugely, the monster, the or the alien or whatever the villain is in the film, which is basically the monster. It's kind of a monster film. I don't think anything is as perfect of a killing machine other than the alien xenomorph. This thing is just, when you see it in action, it's scary, man. The thing is such a perfectly built predator. It's so well done. Other than obviously, and that's no giveaway. The film's called A Quiet Place because they go only on sound. So vision, you have a chance. But the problem is we're a very noisy society. So obviously, if something comes to our planet that's a perfect killing machine and all it hears noise, it's going to suddenly just start tearing up. What I will say is I went into the film with a lot of conflict already, how this, how that, and they actually did a very good job of explaining enough that you can look past and go, okay, yeah, you know what, it's not lazy writing. They actually do kind of give you an idea of how a small group of people out there in the world could manage to survive to an extent. There's some conflict amongst the characters that you understand that they had to do that for the storyline. We put ourselves in the shoes of the main characters and we go, there's no way I would have gotten myself in this situation knowing the world that we're in now. But outside of that, he is an incredible director. The film's very well directed. They take a big story and isolate it to this one family. It takes a span over time, and it's just a very good film to watch. It's very suspenseful. Your heart's pounding through it. Right out the gate, within the first 5 minutes of the film, you fall in love with it.
5 minutes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Within the first 5 minutes of the film, you're like, I'm watching this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just
very creative.
so creative, so well done, and so impacting within the first beginning of the film, and that you're like, okay, I got to see this
And
through.
this was this guy's first film.
First director, and now he's getting all kinds of offers, which he should. He should.
Yeah,
'Cause if
it's very well made.
with his style, I mean, that film is so well done. And I'll go from the pleasant surprise to of course,
the
huge payoff.
Yeah, which
and,
is Pandas from IMAX release of Pandas, the movie. Have you seen that?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Oh boy.
Pandas. No, of course we're talking Infinity War. It's okay. Let's go to the audience for a second. Your thoughts on Infinity War before we go crazy.
I've never seen a better SmackDown.
That's great.
That's it.
Yeah,
Summarize it.
that's awesome.
Just-
I mean,
I mean,
we're going
Thanos
full
is-
spoilers. And so, out of curiosity, did you find yourself halfway through the film rooting for Thanos almost?
Oh yeah.
Right, and,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like you're like, and what's so
Like you
understand?
You don't get it, but you get it.
But you get it.
At the same time, you're like, yeah. You know, every time I'm driving, I get it.
yeah.
Every
Time in line,
driving.
every time I'm in
Driving
line at
here,
McDonald's,
actually.
every
Yeah.
time I'm in line at Walmart.
Yeah,
Every time I can't find an open register at Walmart,
Right.
I'm like, this better be the reason why.
Yeah, when you call customer service
At
you know,
Comcast,
at
dude,
Comcast,
I hope that Snap
get
took
it.
all of them.
I get it, you know? I understand it.
You know, and what's crazy about it, it's so the writing on that is so great because his reasoning is so fair. It's unprejudiced. It's unbiased.
Yeah.
There's really no hate. You know what I mean? Like, there's really he doesn't have it out for a specific
Just,
species.
right.
Yeah. And then when you get the background of his planet storyline and what happened to them, you almost go like, man, like it's morally wrong because morally, obviously, we go, hey, we suck it up and
We killed a bunch of people.
yeah, we suffer.
It's terrible.
You know what I'm saying? Morally speaking, like, no, you don't do that. You don't kill. It doesn't matter. But when you think about overpopulation, it was like the guy, and that's why even the dialogue's incredible. As he says, and she's like, no, you're a monster. He goes, no. He goes, many people understand me. I'm just one of the few willing to act on it.
Right.
If maybe the only one. And that's what's horrendous about about it's like, damn, it's like I almost want to root for this guy. You know, in the sense that, I mean, what he's doing is completely wrong, but his reasoning's good, and it's like you root for it not because you want him to win, but because you want to keep seeing him in action.
Yeah.
Because his dialogue is
good
great.
villain, finally,
his
like-
fighting is great. Just everything, the way, I mean, even with like the interaction with Star-Lord,
Yeah.
and he's like, I like him. You know, he respected that Star-Lord was willing at that moment to do because what he does later, but
Yeah.
willing to do at that moment what needed to be done and what he promised to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and that was my favorite thing. James Gunn apparently did right
Yeah.
at like almost like 80% of the Guardian scenes.
I don't know. Was that the case for the other directors or just James Gunn?
No, well, remember it's Civil War. It's the same directors.
Russo brothers.
So outside of that, and then Ragnarok. I mean, they don't really need to involve them because Ragnarok was Guardians. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then Black Panther is
Yeah.
like Iron Man. You know what I
I
mean?
do
So
like
like,
the best thing about one of the best things about Infinity Wars was the interaction with Thor and Groot
the pairings
and
in that film.
and Rocket.
You mean what do you call them?
Rabbit?
Rabbit. Rabbit and Tree.
Rabbit and Tree, yeah.
The Adventures of Thor, Rabbit, and Tree. Yeah, the pairings in that. I mean,
That could be its own movie. They could do a movie
Iron
with that.
Man with right at the gate. Iron Man and Doctor Strange. That interaction, even though I feel a little ripped off.
Yeah.
There was no shit Sherlock.
Yeah.
There was no
Yeah,
Elementary.
that line.
There was no.
That line, I mean,
How do you not? How do you not?
I mean, you're sitting in a room writing this or going over this, and no one,
Yeah.
no
Maybe
one
they,
said,
maybe
hey,
they didn't want to make it campy.
hey
maybe?
guys,
There has to be an outtake.
Are you kidding me?
Because they,
Yeah, there's like outtake.
you know, they
There has
said
to
it.
be
They go,
outtake.
it's too obvious. Like, yeah, it's too obvious because it's great. It's a
Yeah.
great opportunity.
Yeah.
You take advantage of. I felt ripped off on that, but their interaction, spot on, like
Yeah.
perfect. Balance.
as
and
far
it-
as character goes,
yeah,
yes.
no, and they're just. I love with the ice cream and about what he prefers and they named an ice cream after me. It was a hunka Hulk or something. Like that.
Yeah.
That's a thing. Like it was just so cleverly done. But I mean, just everything in that film. But I mean, it's so dark.
Finally, this was the moment.
It's so
like
dark.
he said,
I almost don't want another movie.
It's like he said. It's finally
They could
got
have been
their
the Marvel
ass
universe
kicked.
right
Well,
there.
and when I think you were the one. Well, no, actually, was on our last panel. One of the other audience members, he was talking about you kind of want to see the villain win just to
Yeah.
break from the monotony that the heroes are always right. And it's sad because we're not totally heartbroken by it because we know they're gonna fix it in the next film. Probably, most likely, not all of it.
We will be heartbroken in the next film. Though.
Yeah,
I'm
because
sure not
yeah,
everyone's
yeah, because some of
but-
those deaths are going to be permanent, and
Yeah.
but right now we're very hopeful that our main characters. I mean, everyone got nervous when Iron Man got stabbed. I'm positive. I'm positive. Like, wow, like I didn't see that coming.
Can we talk about what Groot? Oh, or is that a spoiler?
Well,
we won't talk about it.
we said on the last on the last
that's
podcast,
right, yeah.
but it was great. Yeah, with the hashtag I'm not my Groot.
Not my Groot, yeah.
You know what Groot said, right? His last words.
Yeah, but you know what it meant?
Do you know what it meant?
Got you.
Yeah.
Do you know what if it had subtitles? Did you hear? That was good.
That's
got
good.
you.
That's
I mean,
good. Yeah, you
Actually,
got
it's
you.
I am Groot, and then
Yeah.
he turned into Ash.
Yeah.
Actually, because they actually give a script to Vin Diesel. Why I don't know, because apparently he needs just to say I am Groot. He needs more motivation to say I am Groot. So they actually have to give him a script of what the I am Groots mean.
I'm hating
It
on
was
this man
confirmed
so much.
that his last words to Rocket was he called Rocket Dad. He went like.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He reached
not-
to Rocket and went.
That's
"Dad."
not
Yeah.
fair.
How do you feel now about Groot?
Like,
how
how
do
do
you feel
you-
now about Groot?
I know.
Yeah.
But doesn't it take away from Spider-Man's death scene? Because that was the most heartbreaking death scene in that movie. But once you hear that, like, I don't know, that's a little bit more heartbreaking.
That's more. He called Rocket.
Because he
Dad.
did more in one word
Yeah.
than Spider-Man did with like 15 minutes of
That's
death.
the one
That's
word
not cool,
they
man.
should have subtitled.
Yeah.
They should have subtitled.
They
that
should
one
have.
word.
Everyone in the audience would have been so mad.
Yeah. They should have subtitled.
Oh
Dad.
man!
Oh.
They're like, come on! You would
I would've left.
I would have been that guy. Like,
cried.
come on already with this shit. Are you kidding me? You say, I mean, I just gotta jump forward because it's related. But have you seen
James
Ant-Man
Gunn.
yet? Okay, I have to just bring it up so it's related, so I can bring it up. I mean, you saw it too. Yeah, we're all
Is this
cut up.
spoiler alert? So this is gonna be a spoiler alert.
Yeah, but everyone here has heard it. Yeah, spoiler.
Well-
We're talking about Infinity War in July, but
Yeah, but I think
spoiler word for exactly.
I mean, it's been a week.
Yeah,
It just
30
came
seconds
out.
on
Oh,
Infinity
Megan,
Man. Yeah, I
it came
know.
out
I
last
know.
week, 2
Well,
weeks ago.
you stayed for the post credits, of course, right? Okay.
It connects
You know how
to
they
Infinity War,
they added
so-
some punctuation
Yeah.
in there that was, and I'm like, that's just Marvel was just really messing with this audience.
You know what
right
it
now.
is that everyone was giving Marvel crap for not killing anyone.
For not being dark.
And they finally went there.
Why did everyone forget that Quicksilver's dead? I'm getting upset with that because I like that Quicksilver. I did like that Quicksilver. Everyone's like, oh, they don't kill nobody. Like, that guy died in the first movie he
This
was
is
in.
one-
Yeah, but
One
I mean,
guy.
one
guy.
That guy.
I mean,
come on. It was
yeah,
that guy. Too.
Yeah,
Like,
Starbucks
he
worker
wasn't
number 2
funny.
died too, and no one.
he was
Scarlet
funny.
Witch can't catch a break. I have a brother, he dies. I love this thing, he dies. And I say thing because I don't know what Vision is turns into a guy at will. But I think that's a death that stays. I don't think Vision's gonna come. I mean,
I think-
he might
I
come
think he
back
will.
for the film.
I think he will.
No,
But
because
I
I,
don't think he
think
stays.
I think
No,
he-
because
the
I
sister for what's her name? The sister in Black Panther.
Oh yeah, she downloaded
She
a copy of him.
and
Yes.
she might have
Yes,
got him
that's,
in time.
that's why I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
That's why I think he's coming back because she was actually fixing him before.
See, but now here we
Yeah.
go into the Black Mirror. Have you seen Black Mirror on Netflix? All that series? Yeah. Okay, great series. Black Mirror touches a lot about what is a soul, what is a life when it gets into artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
and basically copies of your memories. That's a copy of Vision.
Yeah, but Vision wasn't human anyways.
Okay,
so-
but Vision is dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Vision is dead.
Oh, so now
unless,
we're
unless,
going-
Okay,
unless,
wait,
hold on,
wait.
unless he does
last 20 minutes of
yes,
his
he's
life.
like Groot.
Oh,
Groot
so
is
now
dead.
we're going into the Groot thing. That's what we're doing.
Go ahead.
How does the Mind Stone work?
Yeah.
His consciousness could be in the Mind Stone.
Yes. Or what they were trying to do, his consciousness exists now outside of the Mind Stone. The only thing is that since he kind of came from Ultron was all and one at the same time. So the concept would kind of be a copy of him is not a copy of him. He's both at the same time. That's just his corporeal form that died at first, which is kind of how he came to be in the first place because he was originally Jarvis broken and he came back as Vision. So they could go that route. I just think that that's an impacting death because I think they want to really. I think Scarlet Witch is gonna blow up and almost be like their Hulk. I mean, I think going into a later phase, they can kind of Hulk the Scarlet Witch. You know, like in the original the animations, they do it a lot. In the comics, used to do it. The Avengers with the Hulk was always the worst because once the Hulk got going, now it's like, great, this is over, but now how do we stop him because he's lost it again, until he became more intellectual and been around for a while. That was always, to me, one of my favorite things reading in the comic books, and that they did in the animation was, now the Hulk went off, now they got to stop the Hulk. And it's almost worse than the villains that they were fighting. And I think that they might go that route kind of with Scarlet Witch and kind of be their Dark Phoenix, because they keep making her more and more powerful, and she can't catch a break. Like, anyone she loves, she keeps losing for the wrong reason.
She's gonna go into a depression
and
I become a villain.
Kind of. I don't think a villain, but I think just kind of like lose control. Almost
it's not that far-fetched.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they could totally do that if they get the rights of X-Men and everyone.
Well, they did, didn't they? Just $72 billion,
It's still there.
Comcast could still pick it up.
No, I thought they closed for $72 billion.
Did they?
I believe
No,
so.
I think they put out the offer.
Right.
Oh, because Comcast was 60.
They didn't
Or
accept it
62,
yet.
64, and they went 72, from what I understand.
They didn't accept it yet. But
We'll find out. Go Disney. Get
Go
that.
home,
Get that.
Comcast.
Go home,
Go home.
Comcast.
No, not you. Don't go home. Please.
No, not you.
Stay,
No.
stay.
No.
Please
Not
stay.
Megatron.
Not Megatron.
Megatron.
Megatron, stay.
Please stay.
But yeah, I mean, Infinity War is just, it just crushed it. It broke our hearts, entertained us. We left sad and happy at the same time. It was like we were giddy, quiet, no music, and like I love, because I saw it the second time with my parents, and I want to see it the third time with someone who hasn't seen it, because I love watching the depression and the reaction kick in of them like, is this happening?
Well, it's great because
what am I watching? Like,
it happened in every single theater. Once the credits rolled, everyone was just silent. No clapping, no nothing. It was just silence.
Yeah.
And I've talked to like a couple of people, and it's like, no one talked right after the credits. It was just like shock.
You could hear a pin drop in there. It was impressive. And I mean, we're gonna see, because now San Diego Comic-Con's coming up, right? Next weekend.
I think it's next week. Yeah.
So supposedly, once they've released the trailer to Captain Marvel, because somehow the title for the next film is a spoiler for Captain Marvel. They're gonna, after the trailer, then they're gonna release the name.
That's a spoiler for Captain Marvel?
Yeah, supposedly the title for the next Avengers film is gonna be a spoiler for Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel saves everyone. That's
not the little thing that they left at the end.
No, that was to introduce that
Captain Marvel exists.
Captain Marvel exists.
Yeah, so but that's gonna be.
But supposedly no, because I guess the title of the, I don't know unless they're gonna go Secret War or something, which that's a big jump, because if they can't go, if they go into Secret War too soon like they did with Civil War, that's gonna be heartbreaking, because we need more characters. Keep building up, keep getting more, because Civil War we got an eighth of what the comic books was, and far as those battles, and, it was that war scene, because they still haven't built up the stable enough. Yeah. And then Secret War is the same thing. It's a huge stable. I get it, because Spider-Man and a lot of them are kind of in places where they can transition that, but I'd rather that they keep bringing more heroes, a few more phases, and then build up to get a big, and even bring characters back. If they do Secret War, let's say for the next phase, so let's say a decade from now, even if Chris Evans, which it looks like he's gonna leave, they could bring him back then.
Yeah,
that's 10 years of, I'm gonna do other stuff. I'm a great actor. I don't need to be Captain America anymore. Blah blah blah. Okay, I need to make money.
Money talk.
Yeah, exactly. I need to make money. I'm gonna reprise my role as Captain America. And in Secret War, they can do that, and it will be cool, because then you'll see some superheroes come back. They can introduce a few more new characters in there. Yeah. So I really
like Disney could buy out DC and kind of put them in there, and that'd be great if they could just do that.
That'd be horrible.
So we're gonna go to May.
We're gonna go May, which is this was a kind of a back-to-back punch. Do we got a Deadpool 2 fan in the audience? There we go. What do you like more, Deadpool 1 or Deadpool 2?
Deadpool 2 had its strengths, but Deadpool 1.
Yeah, it's still better.
Yeah, Deadpool 1 is still better.
Yeah, it's still the better film, but Deadpool 2 just
Like I love the Cable and the Deadpool relationship in Deadpool 2, but Deadpool 1
it's different.
Colossus and Deadpool.
Yeah, that's the best ship. Well, that's the best ship in part 2 also, because when he's outside with the boombox and he's getting him back. Just the whole relation. Even when he does, and then even
the surprising part was the love story in Deadpool 2. Like
right out the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
And I love it because the credits are saying, that's what I love about Deadpool 1 and doing Deadpool 2. The credits are not credits. They're not giving you any of the actual directors' names or producers or writers. Yeah. But right away, it's exactly what I'm thinking is what the screen is saying. Like, what the fuck just happened?
Well, what just happened? Who wrote this?
And it's probably a guy who doesn't want to share the spotlight. But it's what the hell just happened? And it's And it's funny because even saying it, oh well, I'm gonna be because that breaking the fourth wall thing and knowing he's a character and like all of that just works so great when he's like, whoa, Logan just had to freaking die in his movie, so now I'm gonna have to up the ante like this.
Yeah.
And he went at it, and oh man, and actually time travel storyline wise, like because we had in our last episode we were talking about time travel storylines, it's pretty funny. I mean, very Looper. You know, Cable comes back to save his, his personal situation, wife and kid. But it's it's just also funny because you have Deadpool, especially in the post credits. I forget spoilers. It's already we're talking about Deadpool 2.
Well, I like the way they introduced X Force.
Yeah.
Well, what was X Force?
X Force was amazing. I think X Force is like up there with the Avengers as a team.
Yeah. Oh man, X Force. Wait, what's his? What was the Peter? Was it Peter's?
Pete. Yeah.
Pete. That's by far the best character. I love when he's jumping out the plane and Deadpool has to throw him out.
Yeah.
And
he makes it. He makes it.
Yeah. No, he's actually the only one who's gonna make it. Yeah. What's his name? The Skarsgård's character. We were talking about it earlier. He spits like venom.
I mean,
I can't remember his name.
So fast,
but yeah, that whole scene with his arms getting cut off and the blood's getting all over
and Pete's trying to help him, and then he goes through,
and everyone's Shatterstar falls. And like that whole scene was just so great.
And Terry Crew gets hit by a bus.
See, now it makes sense because like in the trailer you're watching, like, hey man, they're not hyping up X Force enough because they actually got a bunch of decent good actors. I mean, even Brad Pitt out of nowhere, the Vanisher. But it's like you're like, hey, they got some good actors, and like, I don't see enough of this in the trailer. I'm still seeing Colossus and Cable, and like out of nowhere, it's an X Force movie. And like, no, it's not. It is for about 2 minutes.
No. That ended very quickly.
So, dude, the jokes, the baby legs. Oh my god, it's so disturbing. Even though another jump to Ant-Man, because that's related. That's some similarity in that. Because Ant-Man, when he gets he can't fully size.
Oh yeah,
they kind of they have some similarities.
We'll get to that.
Well, yeah, it has some similarities to Deadpool 2.
So, but it's not disturbing.
It's disturbing.
Deadpool 2 is disturbing.
Disturbing. Oh yeah, it's disturbing. That's what I'm saying. Yes, Deadpool 2. Yeah. I mean, that's more disturbing than the hand. What do you think? What was disturbing? The baby hand in part 1 or the baby legs in part 2?
The baby hand, I thought it'd be funny.
The baby hand was kind of funny because it was the one hand, but the legs was.
But baby legs is pretty disturbing.
Legs is disturbing.
Especially he was doing like the basic instinct.
Oh yeah, the crossing the legs.
Yeah. And they played the score. They played the music.
I know. Dude, it's like infant's junk. Cable's face. It's so wrong.
So what do you think the low is for May?
What was there low in May?
I'm sure there's a low in May. I mean,
there's another. I don't know.
The month of May ring a bell.
We also had Solo in.
We had Solo in May, which
That's right.
we talked about in one.
Yeah, we did a recap. Did you see Solo? Are you a Star Wars fan at all?
No,
Audience.
Not
94.
Because of the prequels or because of the new movies?
The new movies.
Really? Oh, we got one of those.
Yeah, it's okay.
There's a lot of those.
I mean, you can't. I mean,
hey, you know what? I'm gonna tell you.
I've seen the last 2 movies, but not Solo.
Okay. Did you like Rogue One? Did you see Rogue One?
Rogue One, yes.
You like that?
Yeah.
See, that's where the split is. Then you'll probably like Solo, because I'm seeing that there's people that are either liking the like the people who don't like at all the newer films are digging the Star Wars stories.
Yeah.
Then people who really like the newer films also like the Star Wars stories, but prefer the newer films over a Star Wars story. Like there's kind of there's like a strong split going on there, and which is surprising because even with Solo. But watch Solo if you like Rogue One. Watch Solo because I have a feeling you're gonna like it, and better than the newer the newer canon storyline films. And I thought it was good. I'm a big fan of The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. But as far as Solo, it's not Rogue One. Rogue One's way better.
Yeah.
And
it's actually it's probably my least favorite of the new 4 movies. The last 4 movies.
But that's what I'm saying. I saw that film with people that hated Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Really didn't like Force Awakens, then really enjoyed Solo.
Yeah, it's just.
And then when I asked them, "What did you like Rogue One?" They're like, "Yeah, it's the best one."
It's it's obviously.
It's like a split.
It's the way it's being directed.
Yeah.
It's the.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I think anybody who didn't like Rogue One is not gonna like Solo at all. Like if you didn't like Rogue One, then you're also not gonna like Solo.
That is true.
And I don't think your hatred for or dislike for the newer Star Wars films is gonna sway you from liking Solo. So as I was saying, you're kind of in a safe spot to watch Solo. I don't think you'll find it better.
Do you like episode 1, 2, and 3?
I have a hate-love relationship for Jar Jar Binks.
Love hate. No, this is hate.
Yeah, so it should be.
This is hate. Is
should be
Misa
hate.
gonna ruin this franchise?
This is where it gets tricky.
Misa,
This is
Misa.
where the whole
Star Wars is all
a
over
lot
the
of
place
people
now.
that like the new movies, a lot of people that don't like the
Don't
new
like
movies
it.
like the prequel,
yeah,
which is
mind-blowing.
weird, which is
It's
blows my
mind-blowing.
mind.
it's that's the split there. Though,
Yeah,
I feel.
I guess those are the kids that grew up with the prequels and enjoyed it. Like,
I hype up Darth Maul.
Get used to that
So,
feeling.
what's next? June?
So I guess he's editing
in
that
June?
up. June. Anything solo Deadpool?
Incredible
Oh, June.
suit.
June. Woo! We got some stuff. We got some stuff.
We got.
Are you an Incredibles fan?
I have yet to see the second.
Did you like the first? But you like it? You like the first? You're gonna love the second one. If you like the first, you're gonna like the second. It's worth the wait.
It was worth the wait, I think.
Brush up on. Have you seen it recently again? The first one?
I had
Sort of.
What?
Because they're kind of what?
Oh,
Yeah.
hold on. Yopis is giving me a face.
no,
What?
It's,
What?
it's not that I didn't like it. It's not that I didn't like it.
But
I don't
15
know.
years, it was
I
too
think
much.
I think 15 years was too much. And
Too
I
long
think,
of a wait?
No, it's just that
They could have done it like
it was
4
good.
years later.
I think it could have been better.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it was very predictable.
Here's the thing.
This is predictable, but it was good.
Maybe the angle you're coming from is that usually you want a sequel. I think after a 15-year wait, and this is where you'll get it. That's why I say watch the first one again. It's important to, because if you watch the first one and immediately watch the second one, because the second one literally is right after the first one.
Yeah.
There isn't a 15-year break.
Yeah.
For the characters. And I think that's what it is, because that's what Marvel does. Marvel, it takes 2 years to make the next film, so the timing of the next film is 2 years later. And they do that, so you're like, okay, this film is now
2 years
matching
later.
the weight that I've recently
Yeah.
had. And you're not, unless like Back to the Future, where they're already filming it, and it comes back to the next one, and they're already filming it, and it goes to the next one, where you could do that, like Hunger Games and all that.
Yeah.
It's hard for the audience to bite onto, wow, it's like, really? And then since it's 15 years later, you're expecting a bigger story.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
You're expecting like, okay, now the kid's gonna be, and that's kind of where you wanted the progression to go. Jack's gonna be like 7 or 8, and then Dash is gonna be in his teens, and Violet's gonna be in college now, and that's what you're saying. Like, and now where has the world gone? You kind of want them to yada yada. You want them to go, where has the world gone now that superheroes are back in their storyline, and now where we're gonna go? Where it really just literally picks up right after the end of the first film.
It could.
So I think that's where the weight kind of hurts.
Personally, felt like it could have been better.
But I think the animation was pretty good, because there was some scenes where in the beginning with the mole, I forgot the
The Underminer.
the Underminer,
Underminer,
that
yeah.
it looks like dirt, like it looks very
I live
well
beneath
done.
you, but
Yeah.
nothing is
Wow,
beneath
you
me.
are a nerd.
Yeah,
He's a
Yes.
film guy.
That's
He's
what
a
you-
film
I mean,
guy.
That's
what
why
I-
you're paying attention.
It's what he
what-
works
that's what
on.
I
It's
do.
what he works on,
Like,
man.
man, look at that dirt.
dude, look at that
Yeah,
dirt.
dirt.
The
That dirt looks so
crisp.
real.
Well, even the alright, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. But I thought it was very well
And,
done, and the score was amazing, and I thought it was good.
I thought it was great. I think it was an incredible film. It's not the first, but to me, I think it was an incredible, no pun intended, follow up to the first, and it's totally worth watching.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy that I sat in a theater and it was easily a 6-to-1 ratio adult to kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, most people aren't even bothering. Like, I try to do that when I see a kid film, borrow a nephew. I don't have kids myself yet, so I'll try to borrow a nephew or take my godson or take a little cousin. And this, I didn't care. And that theater was packed with the same thing. A bunch of younger couples in their 20s, no kids, or just a bunch of I mean, there was groups of like guys in their mid-20s together, just seeing a superhero film. And to me, it's one of my top superhero films. I mean, it's actually above a lot of Marvel superhero films. For me, it's definitely above almost all the DC ones.
Well,
The new DC ones.
Well, it's pretty cool because when the first one came out, I mean, it's such a big time gap that people's life has changed completely. Like, I was still a teenager when the first one came out.
Yeah.
Seeing the first one now and then seeing the second one, you could totally relate as a parent.
You saw what he
to
did
it.
there.
Yeah, I had to
I
make
did.
a
I
face.
had to.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the audience,
Sorry.
the audience can't
Sorry, I
hear
was the
my
only one that
face,
was,
but yeah, the little baby next to
I was-
us had to make it a point of how much younger.
I'm
he
just
is.
saying.
Years ago,
I'm saying.
I was a teenager.
I was a teenager still.
Oh.
Anyways, no, but I'm saying in the second movie, you see it now as a parent, because I'm a parent now.
Yeah.
You see it, and I can crack up at the jokes from the parents' perspective.
Yeah.
Where those jokes are hilarious. Like, you can relate to it.
I'm gonna say, and when you watch this film, no, I said this because you're gonna agree, and I think everyone can agree with this. Jack versus Raccoon.
Yeah.
Greatest thing in that film.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down. To me, that's the
Yeah.
greatest moment in that film. It is so well done. It is so funny. And, you know, you finally get a display. I mean, you have no idea of how many things Jack can do. I mean, you had one handful in the first film, and the second film, it's just a whole nother array. I mean, it's incredible. Which I didn't learn till like a year ago that they had named them appropriately. I mean, obviously, Mr. Incredible, he's super strong. Elastigirl's obvious. I didn't realize Violet for Ultraviolet. I mean, Dash was easy speed, but Jack for Jack of all trades. I didn't know that.
Oh,
my
yeah,
whole
I
life.
didn't put that together until you just said it right now.
Really?
I mean,
They
the
did
other
same
ones I
thing.
did, but
Yeah,
Jack.
they say, I didn't know till like a year ago when they were
I
making
thought-
this film.
But you knew Ultraviolet, though.
No,
Yeah,
I
the
didn't.
other
I
ones,
didn't think
yeah.
about it. I never thought about either Violet for Ultraviolet.
15 years, huh?
Yeah, I know, it's sad. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
15 years.
And I never smoked or
Yeah.
did
All right.
drugs, but I just didn't get that.
There's some worthy mentions for June.
For June.
But that
There's some
personally,
bad.
I haven't
There's some
seen.
bad mentions.
Yeah, it's a lot of bad mentions.
We
But,
got any Jurassic World 2 fans in the audience? Did you see it?
Nope.
See, I like this guy. He doesn't
Yeah.
waste his money.
Yeah.
He likes to save it. He likes to save it for important
He's like,
things.
nah, it's all right. You don't have
Like
movie
SuperCon.
pass. You don't have
Listen
movie
to
pass,
us.
right? You don't have movie pass. Have you heard of movie pass?
No, I haven't.
It's a
Alright,
thing.
don't
okay.
worry, it's gonna.
Yeah,
gonna
it's
go
about to
soon.
die out anyways.
It's gonna die out.
It's about
a
to go.
failing business.
But in my defense, because of Movie Pass, I watch more films that I normally would not waste time
Yeah,
watching.
which is the
in
point
theaters.
of Movie Pass.
Which is the point of Movie Pass, to get people to go to the movies when they wouldn't. But yeah, it's like, wow. It's just like the first Jurassic World, and like all of them, it has good effects. It has some good action scenes. To me, other people will probably disagree. I think the bad outweighed the good. There's some really bad moments in that movie,
I'm
like
sure. I
bad
don't need to watch that.
moments that the audience literally laughed, and not laughed because it's a funny scene. Laughed because it was like a wow factor, not that good wow, like the wow, like a wife gives her husband when like you just lost the argument by saying something so stupid that she's amazed by your stupidity, like wow. And it was that kind of wow, like wow, this movie just made a horrible moment. They probably think we're not supposed to be in here.
Yeah, I know.
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we're so.
What's going on?
It's like,
Yeah.
we just
So,
had a
no.
security guard
Yeah,
walk by the
that's very
room
weird.
thinking we don't belong here. When actually we have another panel
2
after this,
hours left?
another
Yeah.
hour and a half to go.
Yeah. I feel like we're the only
So
ones
if he's
here.
confused now, wait till he comes back around 12:30,
Poor
and
guy,
we're
man.
still going.
That
He
was
just wants to
weird.
go home. He just
That
wants to
was
go
weird.
home.
We're the reason
So-
he can't go home.
Yeah.
So the other one that I haven't seen is Tag.
That's good.
I think the
I want to see that.
That's good.
I wanna see
Seen
it.
Tag.
Tag? No.
Tag. It's not really
it's
a
stupid.
nerd film.
It's stupid, but I want to watch
No,
it.
but it's based on a true story.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
No,
Apparently.
No, and hold on. At the post-credits stay, I think anybody who nowadays, if you don't wait for the credits, you just why? Half of movies do something.
I just hate waiting.
No,
And nothing
but
happens.
it's an
And then
idiot.
getting that-
No, in
that
fairness,
go
yeah.
home
No,
sign.
no. In fairness, it's a comedy, so it's almost like something about marriage. Things like that. You're gonna get it right away. It's not gonna be the end of the credits. Only Ferris Bueller did that, which that's what Deadpool made fun of. But for the most part, comedies kind of like after maybe a few credits, boom, give you something, and they actually show you footage of the real guys that have been doing, and actually it's more of them because for the film it's only like 5 or 6, and in real life it's like 10 of them. But what I will give you, and research it because it's pretty crazy, one of those guys is a priest. So just give you an example, because you think if you watch the movie you're like, okay, but this is so far fetched, and then when you see what the real guys do, like this isn't that far fetched. I mean, I'm sure they change things for their version of it, but these guys are crazy.
Yeah.
It's a game they play once a year, and just to give you an example of how crazy they are, one of them is a priest. So one of the guys dresses in drag as a nun to sneak into a retreat that he's at to tag him.
My goodness.
That's how hardcore these guys are. And what's crazy is they live all over the country.
just tagged you?
So yeah, just tagged you. He's it. I didn't mean to
He's
do
it.
that.
He's it.
But and that's what's crazy is that these guys live all over the country and they designate this month. So basically, on the first of that month, these guys are sleeping with one eye open because these guys will take vacation time,
That's so
catch
funny.
flights, trains, and whatever you're doing. And the thing is, life is life. You have a job. In May,
Okay,
if you have to
now-
go to
now
this or
I'm
that,
gonna
you
go
gotta
watch
go.
this movie.
It's worth
Yeah,
watching.
now I wanna
It's
watch
worth
it.
watching.
I
And
need to
now,
watch this movie.
because he
I wanna
is
live like those guys.
he's so Hawkeye. He's Jeremy Renner. He's so Hawkeye in this movie. You know where he is during the whole Thanos thing.
That's funny.
He's playing tag.
Oh,
he's
that's
playing
where
tag.
he was.
He's
That's where he
playing the
was.
character of Hawkeye. So, and then he's even skilled like Hawkeye. He's a martial artist, and he's like, wait a minute, I'm watching.
I couldn't
So,
see him.
so I get Ant-Man. I know where Ant-Man is, and I know where Hawkeye is.
Yeah.
And say, Hawkeye apparently
That's
left
funny.
his wife and
That's
kids, and is getting remarried and playing tag with his
Yeah.
friends. So,
And the other one is Sicario, the Data of the Soldado.
That wasn't recent. I thought that was July. Oh no,
That was
that's
June.
June. That's
Late June.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm willing to bet it's not as good as the first.
I'm
heard
actually
a lot
gonna
of
go the
reviews.
other way. I think it's gonna be better than the
Yeah.
first.
Really?
Well, you know what? The first movie got a lot of great reviews, but I only like the last part of the
Right?
first movie.
The
Yeah,
twist.
I feel the same way.
Right.
You seen
Because most of the movie,
Sicario?
it's like, all right, man, like
I
she's
think
kind
the
of stupid,
second
you know.
one will end up being better than the first one.
I feel like the second
See, I
one's
don't-
gonna be more of that type.
that just
Well,
like
yeah,
the
I
whole
think
thing.
Yeah.
The thing is, but sometimes that works because in the first one there's a twist. You should watch. I mean, I don't know if you like action movies, but it's that's a good one.
It's very good.
Sicario's good because
I mean,
Emily Blunt. It has a twist to it. Now, unfortunately,
It's very good because
It's
of
all
the
the way.
twist.
You gotta
Yeah.
go all the way to the end.
Yeah, you gotta go to end to see the twist. And the second film was already post the twist, and I get it because they right away said, "Hey, I'm sure you think about like I want to see this story."
That's
so
what
they're
I
like,
wanna
"Okay,
see.
we're gonna make that story."
Yeah.
But it works so good in the first because it's you don't see it coming originally, and then the way that the character is involved in it, Emily Blunt's character. And the way Josh Brolin's character, like the way everything
Yeah.
plays out, is what
Benicio
makes it
del
so
Toro,
impactful.
yeah.
When the second one, it doesn't have that impact. It's gonna be
It's just straight up
very
Benicio
John
del
Wick.
Toro,
Exactly. It's
yeah.
like John Wick 2 versus John Wick 1. John Wick 2 is like it's not as good as the first one because like I mean yeah they try to go bigger, more people to kill at the same time. It's
And
like,
they're still
but
making a
it's
part 3.
And they're
yeah,
gonna make
and
a
it'll,
part three.
it'll probably be entertaining too.
And they're
But it
gonna
won't be
make
the
a
first
series.
movie.
They're gonna make a series out of it too.
I'm not watching.
But not about John
any of
Wick.
that.
No, but it's
Like the
gonna spin
world.
off of that world.
Okay, I can
Not
see
watching
that.
any of that.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you are.
No,
Yeah, you
I'm
are.
not.
Yes, you are.
I didn't even watch part 2.
Yeah, you are.
This is the same guy that said I will not watch Cobra Kai, and somehow it
And he
happened.
loves it.
Yeah.
I mean, he
loves
has
it.
his excuses, and it's good.
Something else. That- totally different.
So, I in June also, I gotta point this out. We're talking mostly movies. Westworld fan at all? Oh yeah. There we go. Because June was the season finale of Westworld, and the emoji of the head exploding.
Was it June? The
Yeah,
season finale?
that was the season finale.
Wow.
Was about early June, I think.
No, late June. You're right.
Yeah,
it
late
was
June.
about late June.
That head emoji, head exploding. I mean, it was just. It's so
Yeah.
such a mind bending
Confusing.
show.
Yes.
Yes.
It was so confusing. Mind blowing. My mind is still blowing of how confusing this ending was for a lot of people.
I think it's great. I
thought it
think.
was good.
Yeah, I think everyone can say the same thing. Everyone was tired of
Dolores.
Dolores' like MSK keeps putting it. I'm tired of her shit,
I'm
and it
tired of
was.
her shit.
I was tired of her shit.
But
Like,
it was for a reason.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, and
But
I
I'm still tired of it.
I like the way it worked out, but this season makes everyone such a Maeve fan. Like you're like hands down.
They hype her
a
up
Maeve fan.
so much, and it well deserved because she, she's great.
Yeah. And then
No spoilers, huh?
no. Well, I mean, we can spoil it. We can get
Nah,
deep into
you're
Westworld. I mean,
No, I mean we'll probably do an episode of Westworld. Apparently,
I think so.
Eventually.
I just wanted to bring it up because
Yeah.
it was great.
And then,
I love the things HBO's doing.
yeah, I like
But
the
now-
Akichita storyline. I'm just gonna throw that out because no one ever talks about that.
The Samurai.
No, the Native American.
That was the best episode this season to
Yeah,
me.
I thought it was very well.
I thought it was a very good episode.
Yeah.
You're caught up, right?
Yeah.
And you saw the whole season.
Yeah.
I thought that was number one. I loved how it changed everything. I mean, it really it
yeah.
served a purpose. It completely,
It
it
changed.
changed out the whole season. But as an individual episode, that
was
story, the actors, the character, it was almost like a break from the show.
The
Yeah.
end.
And the end, everything.
The end
The
everything.
end of the
Yes,
episode
yes.
was like
the way that
Yes.
that story was told through, like he was directly talking to Maeve, and it was great.
Then
gotta wrap it up.
to wrap it up, July Ant-Man, and since it just came out, we don't want to spoil it, but hands down the high. You haven't seen it yet? Oh, you've seen it. Oh, that's what we were talking about earlier. All I'm gonna say is stay for the post credits. If you don't want to know what's going on with Infinity Wars and Ant-Man, leave before the post credits, and you'll be a very happy camper. But since you know this is not a spoiler, because everyone went into the movie knowing who's not gonna make it, because we knew that the Thanos snap was gonna be felt. If you stay for the post credits, you've been warned. You know what's gonna happen. Marvel's gonna keep messing with you.
Yeah.
They're gonna play. I don't know what Captain Marvel's gonna do. I can only imagine. But until that next Avengers film, Marvel's depressing.
We got a year. How many days do we have? I know you're keeping.
Oh,
track of this.
I got it on our WhatsApp. It's the title of it,
Yeah.
and we got 15 minutes left before it changes. The American release, based on a midnight showing, it is 295 days to the next Avengers film. is where we're at. So
Alright.
almost there.
Almost there.
Almost. Oh, we get that before Game of Thrones, or we get Game
Yeah,
of
we're
Thrones
probably
before
gonna get that before Game of Thrones.
So that's the where we're at there, and that's pretty much our wrap. I mean, anybody got Nerdcessity?
You got one
Video
Yo
review?
piece?
Necessity.
Nerdcessity.
Oh boy.
We always wrap up with a Nerdcessity.
I think Westworld was gonna be.
I think
his
Westworld was gonna be my.
That was.
No,
Oh, yeah, that's a great Nerdcessity. We only brushed on
Westworld.
it.
Well,
We
there's
got-
the ones you can do one specific episode if you want, because we're eventually gonna talk about the series.
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
that's that.
Nope.
That's the
Westworld.
Nerdcessity.
Westworld it is. All right, that's
Westworld.
it, guys.
If you're not watching Westworld, you're not a nerd. Get it together.
Wrap it up, guys.
And that's this episode of Fanatically Correct. This is Omega. Peace.
This is MSK. Peace out.
This is your piece, Peter.
And Megatron, you want to give a shout out? Oh no! Thank you for
Thank you for
joining
staying.
us.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
for staying. So that's Megatron, everybody.
And there you have it, folks. This has been Fanatically Correct. Until next time, you crazy kids. Signing off.